The time has come to finally review the film where you won't know the facts until you've seen the fiction.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Lucimus Prime here, so it is time for a special movie review today, where today I review the favourite film of mine of one of my favourite directors of all time, and this director is one of my all-time favourites, and that is Quentin Tarantino, and I've seen all of his films so far, but this would have to be my personal favourite film that he's made. This is an independent crime film from 1994, and what I'm going to be reviewing, of course, is none other than Pulp Fiction. So, now, how was this film made then? So, this one was written by Tarantino in 1992 and 1993, and he incorporated scenes as well that Roger Avery had originally written for a film from the previous year called True Romance. And this film's story is also unique because it takes place out of chronological order, so all the different sequences are mixed up. They're not in a straightforward story, which I think makes this film really unique. And also, as well, the considerable screen time is devoted to monologues and casual conversations with eclectic dialogue, revealing each character's perspectives on several subjects. And as well as of course, the dark story this film has, because it's a crime film, it also, as well, features an ironic combination of humour and the strong violence. And as well as that, of course, this film was also notorious for using a low budget because it was, of course, an independent film at the time. So it used quite a very small budget when it was, of course, made. Only $8 million to make this film. When the film, of course, was released, it released in Cannes on May 21st, 1994, before then being released in the United States on October 14th of that year. It won the Palme d'Or at the 1994 Cannes Film Festival, and it was a major critical and commercial success. It was nominated for 7 awards at the 67th Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and it won the Best Original Screenplay, with lots of members of the cast being nominated for the actor-related Oscar nominations too. And as a result of this as well, the lead actor John Travolta's career was reinvigorated due to the film's success. And the film's development, marketing, distribution and profitability had a sweeping effect on independent cinema, and the film is regarded as Tarantino's magnus opus, with praise for its screenwriting as well, and it's regarded as one of the greatest films ever made, alongside the cast receiving high acclaim for it. So it's definitely been a very well-received film in the now 31 years since it released. When it comes to my reaction to this film then, so I remember when I first saw this film several years ago. I first saw it in its entirety on Netflix, and I definitely think the film is absolutely fantastic as a crime film. I definitely think it's Tarantino's best movie out of the films he's done, because I've noticed a similar feature of his films being that his films are crime-related films and they're pretty dark as well. And this film is definitely no exception. I personally think his writing for a film is just fantastic. Is it any wonder the film got so much acclaim? And considering it's an independent film with a very small budget when it was made, I personally think that with what they had, they did a brilliant job bringing the film to life. Because I personally think the film was absolutely fantastic, just amazing, with a great cast of actors giving great performances throughout. With a very interesting story, I might also add too, which is just very captivating and intense, and just what you need for a crime film, with lots of dark parts in it, and of course, the film also has quite a few disturbing scenes as well, which might be hard to watch, of course, and that, of course, is a common feature of crime films. So, when it comes to featuring crime-related things in this film, Tarantino definitely, of course, went all out with it, with including what's expected in a crime film. So, what is the movie about then? So, as I said, this is a film which features sequences which are not in chronological order, straightforward, and it tells 4 intertwining tales of crime and violence in Los Angeles. So of course, it's told and it follows 3 characters, of course, which is Vincent Vega, who is a hitman, Butch Coolidge, who is a prize fighter, a boxer, and Jules Winfield, who is Vincent's partner in crime. So, now, when it comes to what I think is great about this film then, so I think this film has a fantastic cast of actors. So, for example, I think out of the cast, the number one highlight of this film is, for me, undoubtedly John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson playing Vincent and Jules. I personally think their chemistry with each other was absolutely fantastic, and they're definitely really entertaining to watch. And Samuel Jackson's one of my favourite actors of all time, and I think Jules is easily one of his best roles ever. And I personally regard the scene where he's, of course, reciting the Bible quote from the scripture Ezekiel 25:17 is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best delivered lines in history, and probably the best line I've heard from Samuel Jackson in his career, because he acted out so well as Jules in this film. His performance was absolutely fantastic, and I think Jules and Vincent are one of the greatest duos of all time in film history, and they made this film so entertaining to watch. I think it's those two that make this film so great, because they're probably the main highlight of it. And the performances are fantastic, and Vincent is easily my favourite role of John Travolta. And as a fun fact as well, Vincent is actually a connection to a previous film by Tarantino, which is his first film, Reservoir Dogs, because Michael Madsen's character, Vic Vega, in that film is actually Vincent's brother. So I think it's really cool how Tarantino included a connection to one of his older films in this, really. Definitely very interesting. As well as those two actors, the film also has other great actors in it, just to name a few. So, for example, you've also got as well Tim Roth as Ringo. Tim Roth's a great actor and a collaborator with Tarantino on several of his projects alongside Samuel L. Jackson. And I think he played Ringo really well, and this one definitely one of his best roles. Although my favourite role of his is The Abomination in Incredible Hulk 2008. I think he was great in this as Ringo. And there's others too as well. I also as well definitely really love Ving Rhames as Marcellus Wallace, who is the crime boss in this film. Ving Rhames is a great actor, and I think Marcellus is definitely one of his best roles of all time. And I also as well love Christopher Walken as Captain Coons as well. Christopher Walken is also a phenomenal actor as well, and I think he played Captain Coons really well in this film, in the scene that he had played him really well. And I also as well definitely really love Bruce Willis as Butch in this film, who is the aging boxer in this. And I think that Bruce Willis definitely did a brilliant job playing Butch, and it's definitely one of the best roles I've seen from him. My favourite role of his will always be, of course, John McClane in Die Hard, and I also as well love him in Unbreakable as David Dunn. But I still think that Butch is one of his best roles as well, because he made Butch an absolute badass of a character, and his performance as a character was amazing as well, in my opinion. Especially in the scene where his watch goes missing. I think in that scene in particular, Bruce Willis' acting was amazing. And of course, nowadays, guys, I am really hoping Bruce Willis is doing well. Of course, I hope he's doing well, because he retired from acting 3 years ago due to having aphasia. And sadly, in the following year, he was diagnosed with dementia. So I really hope that Bruce is doing well nowadays. Hope he's doing well. And as well as that, I also saw a lovely addition of Harvey Keitel as a cleaner character called Winston Wolfe, or also nicknamed as the Wolf. And Harvey Keitel is a great actor, one of Tarantino's collaborators, and he actually, of course, appeared in Tarantino's first film, Reservoir Dogs, as well. And I think he was really great in this as Winston, definitely an interesting character. And what's really cool about Harvey Keitel is he actually reprised his role as Winston Wolfe in some adverts in the UK for a company called Direct Line. So it's pretty cool, of course, how much, of course, popularity this film has had in the years to come, really. So much so that Harry Keitel would reprise his role later on down the line, which is pretty cool. And as well as, of course, this great cast of actors, there's even also smaller roles in this. For example, Tarantino himself actually appears in this film as George's friend Jimmy. So I think it's pretty cool how in films directors can play characters in them. Definitely really cool, that. And I also as well love the addition of Phil Lamar as the character Marvin, who is an assortment of Jules and Vincent. Phil is one of my favourite voice actors of all time, so I thought it was really cool how he appeared in this in a live action role, which is really cool. He's a great actor and a great voice actor. And yeah, this film just definitely has a stellar cast of actors, and they all did really well in this film, and it's no wonder that several of them got nominated for Oscars, because their performances in this film were just absolutely fantastic, just amazing acting throughout this film. And as well as, of course, this great cast of actors who give amazing performances, another reason why I'd say this film is also fantastic is also because of the story. I think it was really well written by Tarantino, and I think the idea of it being mixed up in terms of the order is also really interesting and makes it stand out to other movies. How it doesn't take place in a straightforward story, it's actually in a mixed up order. So that's really interesting. And I also as well, I think the film has really good practical effects for its time. And considering it had only a very low budget when made, this film is proof that you don't need lots of money to make a masterpiece. Because this film is in my opinion, really well done with the money it had. Practical effects, in my opinion, are brilliant. And it's done so well, absolutely. And I also, as well, think the musical choices in this were also, as well, really good too, as well. So, for example, Tarantino used a variety of music in this throughout. Doesn't have like a soundtrack per se. It just has like pre-recorded songs by artists which play in the film. So I think that's definitely a very unique choice of music. How it doesn't have like a soundtrack, just like older songs which are used in this, which I think is really cool addition, really. And I think as well the film is also fantastically paced as well, because the film is 154 minutes, so it's just over 2 hours and 30 minutes, right? But in my opinion, it's paced really well because the story is really intense and interesting, and there's lots of really entertaining moments thanks to Samuel Jackson, John Travolta's chemistry, and it's just, in my opinion, really well paced. Doesn't feel boring, doesn't feel too rushed. In my opinion, it's paced just right, and this is one of those examples of a film which has a long runtime, but in my opinion is worth the pace, absolutely. And it's thanks to, of course, this film that John Travolta's career was revitalised, because he gone to appear in lots more films after this which were successful. So it's good, of course, that this film allowed his career to be successful, of course, in the future. And it's allowed, of course, the cast to become a lot more well-known, because at the time this was an independent film, so the actors probably weren't as well-known as they are now. So it's thanks to this film that the cast are now well-known, which is really good. And so yeah, I really do think that the writing of this film was just brilliant, with a great story, great actors, and just what you'd expect in a crime film, of course, really. And so I definitely love Pulp Fiction. I think it's a great film, in my opinion, Tarantino's best movie. I mean, if I was thinking about qualities of this film, I mean, sure, the order the film is in can be a bit confusing for first-time viewers, of course, but whenever we watched it in the years, it's made a lot more sense to me, of course, how the order goes in. I found it a lot easier and easier to put together. And sure, there is also some disturbing moments in the film too, which are very hard to watch, really. And that is of course, to be expected in a dark crime film, of course. But other than that, though, I definitely really love this film. I think it's absolutely fantastic, in my opinion, really well written, with great acting, especially, of course, from John Travolta and Samuel Jackson, absolutely. So, if I was to give Pulp Fiction a score out of 10, because it's my favourite film by Tarantino, and in my opinion, one of the best films of all time, I will definitely give this film, for me, a full-blown 10 out of 10. Definitely, in my opinion, a really amazing film from start to finish. Just so amazing to watch. So, well, this is me, doing my review for 994's Pulp Fiction. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let me know in the comments what you guys think of Pulp Fiction. If you've seen it, leave it in the comments below. Also, be sure to join Team Plan by pressing subscribe. Reviews coming in the future. And I'll see you all later.